Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 389th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. As most of you know, I usually just put a battle on a Saturday morning, but here in the UK it is a bank holiday Monday, so I thought I'd put a bank holiday bonus battle on. But this isn't just any ordinary battle. This is part of the 2v2 31k tournament that a lot of you will know is going on RTW at the moment. This is one of the battles from that tournament. This battle's got the potential to be a real classic. Just like to show you this here, you can see there's lots of other players in this battle. Remember, it's only a 2v2, so there are only 4 combatants, okay? Just 4 combatants, but there are 4 other players, RTW players, that are spectating this battle, okay? So you've got 4 other spectators watching the battle. Okay, the first team consists of Brotherhood member Mad King, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. Okay, he's got 12 infantry and 2 archers there. 12 infantry, 2 archers, and as you can see, he's got 6 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and he's got 7 upgrades. So he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's a pretty good balanced 2v2 31k army there. And his teammate is Brotherhood member Trajan, who has bought the Greek cities faction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's got 14 Spartan units. I think it's 14. Yeah, 14 Spartan units and 6 Cretan archers. He's got 6 long-range Cretan archers there. Okay, but remember, like we've talked about in other battle videos, the moment you bring Greek cities, you actually give your team a cavalry disadvantage, okay? Because obviously Greek cities have got no decent cavalry. So you must play your Spartans to the best of your ability to make up for the deficit of cavalry that you're bringing to the team, okay? This battle's got the makings to be a classic, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought I'd show you the spectators. You have IOW SRAX. You have TAOW Stalker. You have Ambirix, and you have John Wick. Okay, so that's the 4 spectators to this battle. Okay, let's have a look at this next team. Okay, the first team member there is TAOW La Prince Koa. And he has built the Rome Brutii faction. I think it's La Prince Koa. I think that's how you pronounce it. And you can see there's a word there. We'll have a look at that a bit closer later on. As you can see, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's got 8 infantry. Let's have a quick look at the upgrades. Okay, so he's got 8 upgrades on his infantry. 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now we know these urban cohorts are elite troops in their own right, but if you put those type of upgrades on, that makes them super elite. Okay, so he's got only 8 infantry, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 6. Got 6 archers, so 8 infantry, 6 archers, and it looks like 6 cavalry to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades. Just got 6 upgrades, so he's just got gold shield, gold attack there. Okay, so that's the Brutii army. It looks pretty good to me. Should be a great one for you to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see that this team has combined their armies to make two words, if you like. You've got TAOW there, TAOW, okay, and then you've got clan. So that's a TAOW clan. I think that's the art of winning. I think that's the art of winning that stands for, but I could be wrong there. And if you notice that it's a Macedon player called Graben, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he's got 8 pike units there. Okay, he's got 8 pike units. See a quick look at the upgrades there. If we can see them, we see they're all massed at the end here, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Yep, I think that's 7 upgrades on each unit there. Okay, so 7 upgrades on his 8 pike units, and then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Cretan archers. Okay, so he's also got 8 infantry, 6 Cretan archers, and 6 cavalry. Have a quick look at the upgrades on his companion cavalry. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got 8 upgrades on the companion cavalry. That's 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now companion cavalry are elite cavalry in their own right, but you put 2 experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on, and that is a lot of upgrades on there. Okay, so the combined team there have got 8 infantry, 6 archers and 6 cavalry each. Okay, so that's quite a lot of cavalry. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to here is, can you see that between them they've got 12 cavalry? Okay, so that's 12 cavalry units that team has got. And if we look at the other team, can you see, as we saw earlier, they have only got 6 cavalry. Now, what I'm going to say here is, do you think that 12 cavalry, that advantage of 12 cavalry, will make the difference, will be pivotal towards the end of the battle? I think it'll be an interesting one to see. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at the Greek city's Cretan archers' bodyguards here. Right, can you see those 4 Spartan units there guarding those 6 Cretan archers? Okay, he's going to have his allies' cavalry there to help guard him there, but I just thought it was interesting to see how Trajan here has put his 4 Greek city units around his Cretan archers there to stop the enemy cavalry from hitting them. Those enemy cavalry there would love to actually get over there and hit those archers. But also I'd like to draw your attention, can you see how the other team there are moving widely apart from each other? Can you see how large the battlefield's going to be here? You can see the Macedon troops moving over to the left and the Brutii troops moving over to the right. This is going to be a really wide battlefield here. I noticed that the Scipii and Greek cities' armies are staying concentrated for this particular part of the battle. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I'd like to draw your attention to what the Brutii general has done with his cavalry. Can you see that he split his 6 cavalry into 3 groups of 2? Now that's a nice way of using your cavalry there, because you've got all that manoeuvrability and flexibility around the battlefield. I'm afraid I'm a bit old school. I tend to keep my 6 cavalry in a big tight group, so when I attack it hits like a punch into the enemy line. But that is kind of old school and a bit of maybe old thinking there. But when you see somebody using their cavalry like this, you can see how great that could be around the battlefield and how manoeuvrable and good tactics that is there. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see that the Brutii general is moving his archers forward there to engage the archers of the Scipii and Greek cities' army there. But I'd just like to say once again, show you the width of the battlefield here. See how wide the battlefield here. You can see the Cretan archers there, the Macedon Cretan archers moving forward there to engage those 2 Scipii archer units there. But as I say, standing back here, can you see the width of the battlefield here? But also, that's a really wide battlefield, but also if the Macedon general or the Brutii general get into any type of trouble, it's a long way to send reinforcements over to help them. It's okay having a big wide battlefield like that, but as I say, if it comes to supporting each other, because they're so far apart, then that may be an issue as the battle unfolds. We'll just have to wait and see there. But as I say, you can see those Brutii archers moving forward, as I say, to engage the archers of the other team. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see that Macedon companion cavalry unit in wide formation there, moving towards those archers. Okay, it's in wide formation there to trying to hoover up as many archers as it can if it hits. Okay, that's why he's put it in wide formation there. As I say, when he hits the archers, he'll hit a lot of them in that wide formation and cause a lot more casualties. That's a nice tactical move there by the cavalry, but I can see the Scipii cavalry moving forward there, so it wouldn't surprise me if that Macedon cavalry backed off. There you go. So that was a nice aggressive attacking move there by the Macedon general to try and take out the Scipii archers. Okay, that was a nice move there. You can see there's still some of the Scipii archers still firing there. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cretan archers try to target the Scipii cavalry there if they get a chance. Okay, can you see that Macedon cavalry unit once again in wide formation trying to hit that Scipii archer unit? And just as the cavalry unit approaching that battle damage unit there made it rout. Okay, so I think that's one of the Scipii archer units gone. He's got one left that is also battle damage there. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, the Cretan archers are moving forward there. Now they're not going to target the Scipii infantry, because as you can see, the Scipii infantry are in Testudo. But my guess is they're going to try and target the Scipii cavalry. As we know, the enemy team have got a massive cavalry advantage as it is, but if they can take out as many of the Scipii cavalry as possible, then they'll get even more of an advantage there. As I say, the Cretan archers are moving forward there, and as I say, they will be looking to target the Scipii cavalry. They won't bother with the Scipii infantry because, as you can see, the Scipii infantry are in testudo, so they won't suffer any casualties from archer fire there. You can see the Greek city ally, it's moved some spear units over there, some of his Spartan units over there to try and neutralise any possible cavalry attack on the testudo units there. So it's a nice bit of support there by the Greek city's general to his Scipii ally. There's the last of the Scipii archers there, trying to escape from that Macedon cavalry there. My guess is he'll run into his own infantry and that Macedon cavalry unit will back off. There you go. Okay, but make no mistake, the enemy have got cavalry dominance and archer dominance. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see that the Scipii general is moving his cavalry over to try and take on those Cretan archers. If you notice also, can you see the Scipii general is moving his infantry over as well? Okay, now you might have thought that both Trajan and Mad King had gone defensive there, which they had a little bit, but they're not passive defense. Okay, they're not just going to stand there and let the other team run circles around them. When they want to attack, they're just going to turn defense into attack, and as I say, they're not going to be passive in any defense that they want to do there. You see they've taken out a Cretan archer unit there. As I say, with the Brutii and Macedon generals being so far apart here, as I say, you can see that the Scipii general there with two Spartan allies there is moving over towards Macedon. But as I say, with the Brutii and Macedon armies being so far apart, the Brutii general really can't get any help over to his ally. And if you notice, the Greek cities and Scipii are closer to Macedon than his Brutii ally. Okay, so it's very difficult for the Brutii general to get reinforcements over to his Macedon ally, and my guess is the only thing the Macedon general is going to do with his pikes is back off. He doesn't want to face two potential armies there, so as I say, there you go. See, that's a good tactical move by the Macedon general. Move his pikes back. He doesn't want to face Greek cities and Scipii units there. But as I say, having such a wide battlefield that the enemy have created, the Macedon and Brutii team have created there, then they've kind of may have caused themselves some problems. You see, this Brutii cavalry, they would love this, would come around there and take out all those Cretan archers there. Now Trajan's aware of this, and if you notice, he's brought Greek city Spartan units over to help, plus he's got his Scipii cavalry ally there as well to bring his cavalry in if needs be. But as I say, all the Macedon general could do there was do a tactical withdrawal when he saw all the Scipii army plus some Greek city units moving towards him as well. As I say, look at the distance between the Brutii army there and his Macedon ally. There's quite a big distance there between them. Okay, but as I say, there you can see now Trajan's made quite a good defence there to defend his archers. While his archers are still shooting at those Brutii archers there, okay? But it's always a bit of a problem for Greek cities to defend their archers against enemy cavalry, because of course cavalry are so fast, and trying to get your spear units, run your spear units there to defend your archers is difficult. But I think Trajan's done quite a good job there with his Spartan bodyguards of the Cretan archers. Okay, at this stage of the battle, can you see those two Brutii units want to take out those Cretan archers? But that one Spartan unit stood in their way. They really were aggressive. They're going for those Cretan archers there. Plus you had the enemy Scipii cavalry ready to attack as well. But as you can see here, I think the Greek city's general's done really well there with his Spartan units in defending his archers there. New players to Rome Title War, this is a great example of how you can defend your Cretan archers against enemy cavalry attack there. And also, don't forget, he's got a really good ally there with cavalry support if he needs it. But don't make no mistake, those Brutii cavalry would look to get round there and try and take out those Cretan archers. Okay. Meanwhile, over here, you can see, I think they're going to be waiting for the Macedon attack. Okay, at this stage of the battle, can you see the Brutii general is moving his infantry forward here with a view to pilot the Spartan lines, okay? See all those pilers going in there? Now remember, the Spartans have got 2 hit points, so we'll suffer less damage from pilers than other units. But of course, depends on how many Brutii units he throws in there to pilot that one unit. Could make a big difference there. But as I say, the Greek cities there are set up quite well, and then those Brutii infantry there will just be throwing pilers into them there, as you can see, like raining pilers onto those Spartan units, and they're down to 68 men already, that first unit. Now I see the Brutii general's pulled his infantry back there. If you notice here, can you see how those Cretan archers, those 2 Cretan archers units were being brought over there as I say, possibly with the intention of targeting the Scipii cavalry. So once again here, can you see how the Scipii general's just not moving his cavalry over there, but he's moving his infantry as well. It's a cavalry and infantry attack there against those Cretan archers. He's got his infantry there to neutralise any attack from those Macedon pikemen, and he's got his cavalry over there to take out those archers if he can. As I say, both Trajan and Mad King here have been a little bit defensive there, but they haven't been passive defensive, if you see what I mean. They will turn defense into attack at the first opportunity they've got, and that's what they've done here. Every time they get a chance here, they're attacking. And as I say, you can see the difference, the distance between the Macedon general and the Brutii general there. Such a big distance for them to help each other if either of them are in danger. Okay, but can you see those Macedon Cretan archers shooting into the rear of that Scipii unit? Already cost them about 20 men there. Okay, can you see this Scipii cavalry charging into that Brutii cavalry, and bang! They just like to try and take out those Brutii cavalry units. I see there's some Cretan archers, enemy Cretan archers there, they may well take out as well. I thought the Macedon general there was going to charge his cavalry in. There's 2 units of cavalry, but he decided not to. Okay, now here's a bit of danger for the Scipii cavalry. Can you see there's a build up of Macedon and Brutii cavalry there want to take on his Scipii cavalry? Let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so like we said, the enemy would love to take out these Scipii cavalry here with their superior numbers. Okay, now Mad King's going to be aware of all those cavalry coming in on him, so my guess is he's going to back his cavalry off. Okay, he doesn't want to try and take on those enemy cavalry, because if he loses his cavalry, that's a massive kind of lot to lose, because that would then give the enemy cavalry chance to go all over the battlefield and hit wherever they want with no cavalry interference. Okay, so my guess is here that Mad King's going to back his cavalry off. He doesn't want to lose any units to these enemy cavalry there. There's some more Brutii cavalry coming around there as well that look to smash into his flank if he was engaged. But he's pulled his cavalry back, and so you see his teammate Trajan's got a Greek city unit in there, a Spartan unit. He's put his spears down, and the enemy cavalry has now backed off. So that was a nice combination of a Greek city's unit there and that Scipii cavalry. Managed to neutralise that enemy cavalry attack there. Okay, meanwhile over here you can see the Greek city's general is pulling his Spartans back there. You can see the Brutii infantry moving right now towards his Macedon ally. You can still see this cavalry unit, this Brutii cavalry unit, is probably looking to go in and take that those Cretan archers out, but decided to back off in the end. Okay, you can see the Scipii general here is bringing his army over to combine with his Greek city ally. Just like to draw your attention here, can you see that one Spartan unit there and the other Spartan unit over there have just been taken out by the enemy. Okay, so that's 2 Spartan units just been taken out by the enemy there. So that's not very good news for the Greek city's general there. So as I say, it looks like the Greek cities and Scipii is going to link up. But I noticed the Brutii general's brought his infantry back over here again now. I thought he was going to run over to link up with his Macedon ally, but he's brought his infantry back over here again. Presumably the Macedon general may well move his pikes, try and get in behind the Scipii and Greek cities team here. That may be a tactic he might look at. But all the time here, can you see the enemy Cretan archers targeting the blue Scipii cavalry? Okay, like we said, the enemy have got a big cavalry advantage here, so they'd like to take out that Scipii cavalry. Right, see the Greek city's general there moving towards the Brutii infantry, and the Brutii general there deciding to pull his infantry back out. He doesn't want any truck with both Scipii and Greek city troops there, because once again you can see his Macedon allies so far away that by the time they got over there, a lot of his units would have probably been taken out. So to say, I think both the Greek cities and Scipii generals here are working well together and keeping their armies combined to chase off kind of any enemy troops that are near them, because it would be a 2v1 there. As you see, if the Brutii general had stopped to fight there, he would have been fighting both Greek cities and Scipii. So there's a good tactical move there by the Brutii general to do a tactical withdrawal at this stage of the battle. You can see here Mad King still chasing after. He'd love to smash into those moving Brutii infantry, but you can see that Macedon cavalry there as well. Where you can see this Brutii cavalry unit has just taken out a Cretan archer unit, but he's now ran into a Spartan unit, so that Brutii unit could well rout. There you go. that unit will probably rally. There's enough troops in there for it to probably rally there, but it did, unfortunately for him, run into a Spartan unit. Okay, once again here you can see the enemy trying to target the Scipii cavalry here. The Macedon and Brutii cavalry would like to, as I say, take out the Scipii cavalry there. So any chance they get, they will target the Scipii cavalry to try and take them out. You can see the Greek cities and Scipii units are merged together now in quite a good, close-knit group. So it'll be interesting to see how the Macedon and Brutii team go about maybe attacking here. Once again, can you see that Macedon cavalry heading towards the Scipii cavalry? But my guess is, can you see here that the Macedon cavalry in wedge formation? Well, wedge formation is slower than in normal formation. That's why the Scipii cavalry could outrun that those units there, because they're faster. Right, there's another Brutii cavalry unit's just been taken out. So the Scipii team have done quite well here at taking out some of the Brutii cavalry. But if you notice here, can you see the Brutii infantry and Macedon infantry are finally starting to combine? So my guess is now that they're going to be starting to talk about the end game here, when they're going to move in to attack the Scipii and Greek cities. Okay, as I say, the Scipii and Greek cities have been fighting together well over the course of the battle, and in one split second have turned defence into attack. So as I say, they have been a bit defensive, but not passive defence. They didn't just stand there to get whittled down by arrow fires. They have attacked when they wanted to. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, can you see the Macedon cavalry out to the left? They'd love to charge into the flank of the Scipii cavalry, and you can see the Brutii cavalry would love to charge into the other flank of the Scipii cavalry there. Okay, so with the Scipii cavalry away from their infantry there, they are exposed to attack from enemy cavalry. Okay, now I think Mad King spotted this and is going to move in closer to his infantry, but of course the closer he gets to his infantry, the more he's going to become into range of those long-range enemy Cretan archers that start picking his cavalry off. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see that, as I say, you've got the Brutii cavalry on one flank and the Macedonian cavalry on the other flank there, trying to take out the Scipii cavalry. Now, can you see the Cretan archers are targeting the Scipii cavalry, trying to make him move his cavalry away from his infantry, so they are exposed to attack. Okay, it's a nice tactical move there by the Macedon and Brutii team there. Okay, now he's going to either have to stand there and take loads of archer damage, or he's going to have to move his cavalry out the way. But you have to be careful where he moves it. Like I say, you have to be careful that he doesn't leave his cavalry exposed to a double cavalry hit here by the Macedon and Brutii cavalry. Now, as you can see here, he's moved his cavalry right back there, and it wouldn't surprise me if that Macedonian cavalry move round and that Brutii cavalry move round in a way to kind of threaten his infantry there. Okay, you can see that Macedonian cavalry moving over there already, looking to do that, and you've got the Brutii cavalry ready to charge in if necessary there. Also, you might notice that the Macedonian and Brutii troops are moving forward now. As I say here, it'll be interesting to see what Mad King does with his cavalry, because if he moves them closer to his infantry, he's going to get hit by archer fire. If he leaves them there, he's going to get smashed on both flanks by Macedon and Brutii cavalry. So, guys, if you were in charge of this cavalry, what would you do at this stage? What would you do with this cavalry? Would you run it into your infantry and just take the archer fire? But what would you do in this stage? You've got lots of enemy cavalry coming in on each flank. You're already being targeted by archer fire. What do you think you would do with this cavalry then? Okay, let's see what Mad King does. He's going to move his cavalry over to the one flank of his infantry there. But I notice his Greek city allies moved a Spartan unit over there as well, which might put off enemy cavalry from attacking. Okay, it may well kind of neutralise an enemy attack there with two Spartan units. Okay, his cavalry are being targeted by fire arrows, but what do you do? Do you take fire arrows and still have cavalry left, or do you try and run away from the archers, leave yourself isolated and get taken out by enemy cavalry? This is nice here, a couple of Spartan units that chasing away the Brutii cavalry. Nice bit of teamwork there by Trajan there, helping his Scipii ally there. Okay, let's see what's happening with the Scipii cavalry. Right, can you see the Scipii cavalry now are running over to that other flank, looking to take out those two enemy Cretan archers that have been targeting him. But notice it's not just cavalry he's moving over there, he's moving infantry as well. Another infantry and cavalry attack there, plus there's Greek city units moving over there as well, which has put off the Macedon general from charging into the Scipii cavalry there. Okay, so that's a nice attacking move there. You can see that some of the a couple of Spartan units there, if they're not careful, they're going to be isolated. They're a little bit far away from their the rest of their teammates there. Right, and can you see the Brutii infantry have cut them off there? So my guess is that Brutii infantry is going to attack those couple of isolated Spartan units, and even that Brutii cavalry might charge in on them as well. Okay, that looks like those couple of Spartan units, unless they run quite fast over to their teammates, they are going to be stuck there and isolated. Okay, you see that Brutii infantry attacking them now. If you notice, one Spartan unit's facing outwards to deflect any cavalry hit, where the other one is trying to fight all those Brutii infantry. But I notice the Greek city's general is gradually moving his troops, more troops over there. Okay, can you see here how Mad King has integrated his cavalry with his infantry? Now this is old school. Okay, years ago when we used to play this, if we were up against higher numbers of cavalry or better upgraded cavalry, that's what we used to do. We used to integrate our cavalry with our infantry. Very old school. Yes, you might take archer damage, but at least you're going to have some cavalry units left. If you leave the safety of your infantry, the chances are you'll be isolated and taken out. Okay, so as I say, it's a bit of old school tactics there to protect your cavalry, integrate them in with your infantry. Yes, you will take archer damage, but at least you'll have some cavalry left at the end of the day to use to fight. Okay, meanwhile over there we saw those two Spartan units that were isolated. See that Brutii cavalry charging them? Bang! As that cavalry charges in there. Really punches in there with that cavalry. They're trying to take that Greek city unit out. But as you can see, the Greek city generals brought over reinforcements to those two isolated Spartan units there, and will now help to neutralize any enemy attack. I see there's a Brutii infantry unit in Testudo there, and you can see that Macedon cavalry moving in behind the back of the Scipii and Greek cities general. Okay, this has been a very tactical and strategic battle, and I've tried to catch everything that I can for you. I hope I haven't missed anything at all. As I say, the great tactics and strategy by both teams here is really great. As I say, this battle I think has got the potential to be a real classic one here. Okay, you can see the Cretan archers still targeting the Scipii infantry. There's that Brutii infantry in Testudo there. But you've noticed the Greek city general's moving his Spartans in there to try and dismantle that Testudo unit there, plus the Scipii infantry running over there as well. Okay, you can see that Brutii cavalry charging in there. Once again, they've managed to take out another Scipii cavalry unit there with a lightning strike from Macedon and Brutii cavalry there. So that's another Scipii cavalry unit gone. Okay, as I say, they're whittling the Scipii cavalry units down every chance they get. As I say, with the cavalry advantage they've already got, that's giving them even more of a chance there. As you can see here, the Scipii and Greek cities armies are integrating there, which is quite good for them. Make a good defensive formation there for if the enemy decide to attack. Okay, they finally managed to take out that one Brutii unit that was in Testudo, but those Cretan archers are mercilessly shooting arrows into that Scipii infantry all the time. Fire arrows lowering the morale of troops as well as causing casualties there. Okay, the way that the Brutii and Macedon units are forming up here, it looks to me like they're ready to for the end game here to attack. Right, see these Scipii infantry. Now, if you look at the way they're stood, okay, they're in defense mode. Okay, they've got the they're in defense there, ready to deflect any cavalry attack that might hit them. Okay. In guard mode, I meant to say there. Yeah, they were in guard mode there. You could tell by the way they were standing. So as you can see, there's a lot of enemy fire arrows hitting the Scipii and Greek city army here. As I say, not just causing casualties but lowering morale. But as you can see, the way that the Macedon general has put his pike units and the way the Brutii general is attacking there, plus they got cavalry in behind the Greek cities and Scipio units here, it looks like it could be end game here. This is what's going to decide the battle here. as I say, lots of micromanagement in this battle, as well as good tactics and strategy. And my guess is here it's going to be exactly the same here as we go into possibly the final stages of the battle. But with the advantage of the enemy cavalry got out behind the Scipii and Greek cities army there, then I think that's going to prove very interesting here. Can you see the Bruttii general advancing towards the Spartans there in testudo? Classic attack or defense against spear or pikes using the testudo formation for Roman generals. So that's a nice move there. You can see here the Greek cities general attacking the flank of that Macedon unit. Plus you can see the other Macedon units on the other side. You see that Bruttii cavalry hit there, a lightning cavalry hit into that Scipii unit. But unfortunately for the Bruttii general, that cavalry unit was then routed. Okay, here, just pause the game for a second. Right, just like to show you how well the Greek city general is defending the rear of his Scipii allies formation there. Any attack by cavalry is going to be met by spears, Spartan spears. So that's a really good defensive position that the Scipii and the Greek cities armies have set up there. As I say, the enemy cavalry are waiting to charge in there, but there's not really any way for them to charge in there except to be met by Spartan spears. So that is a nice defensive formation there that the Scipii and Greek cities have set up. Okay, but remember, whenever you go defensive, you pass the advantage to the enemy. Okay, see the Macedon cavalry charged into the back of that engaged Greek city unit there. Really smashed in there with his that cavalry unit there. Nice aggressive hit there into the rear of that Greek city unit. Okay, he's pulling on through that Greek city unit, but I reckon he caused him loads of casualties there. Yeah, he's only got 14 men left in that unit. Took a heck of a lot of casualties there, being smashed into the rear by those Macedon units there. Okay, so there's the an overview of the battle as it stands at the moment. You can see a lot of Greek cities there fighting Macedon and Bruttii troops there. But remember, the Bruttii and Macedon there have got cavalry advantage at this stage. Okay, see that Bruttii cavalry going to the flank of that engaged Greek city unit. Bang! He smashes in there. Now you think he would pull straight back out there because you don't really want to hang around fighting spears, but he's really pushing that cavalry unit forward there, really trying to take out that unit. Remember those Bruttii cavalry, I think, got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, I think that's the Greek cities generals just been taken out. Okay, so the Greek cities and allied units at that particular part of the battlefield have lost their general morale bonus. Okay, so that is quite bad for the Scipii and Greek city team there to have lost that Greek city's general. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. So just like to show you the difference here between the long pikes of Macedon, okay, really long pikes of Macedon there, and the short spears of the Spartans. Okay, so remember, those Spartans got to fight all the way down those long pikes to kill the man on the other end, which is quite difficult to do. And as I say, those Macedon pikemen there will be pressing home their attack there, I think, on that particular flank. And as I say, as the Greek city general has now been taken out, that particular part of the battlefield has lost its general morale bonus, and if a lot of pressure is put on that particular part of the battlefield, then they could possibly chain route there. Okay. You may have noticed up in the top left hand corner, players admitted defeat. That's one of the spectators there who's just left the battlefield. None of the combatants have admitted defeat. Okay, so you can see the Greek city's general is now running, been killed and routed there. But luckily for them, their Scipii general is still alive at the moment. And if you notice, the Scipio general is moving his infantry over to the other flank there. And if you notice his cavalry, it looks like it's going to take out another Bruttii cavalry unit there. So if you notice, the Scipii cavalry general here has been whittling away at the enemy cavalry units, taking out one unit here, one unit there, and I think now has kind of neutralised the cavalry advantage that the enemy had. Okay, over here on the right flank there, can you see that the Scipii and most of the Greek city units have now been routed? Okay, so the right flank of the Scipii and Greek cities formation has now been routed and taken out. Okay, I think there's one Spartan unit might be left there, but if that folds, then the enemy then will look to roll up the Scipii and Greek cities unit from right to left. Okay, that Spartan unit has just routed now, so the right flank has been completely smashed there by the Bruttii and Macedon units, and they will now look to roll up the Scipii and Greek cities units from right to left. Okay, make no mistake about that, that's what they're going to do. Let's just pause again for a second. So to say, all those troops there now probably go into the back of those couple of Spartan units there that are still fighting, and then roll up the enemy Greek cities and Scipii units from right to left there. As you can see, that Macedon cavalry have charged into those two battle damaged engaged Greek city units that I'm pretty sure are going to rout at any time. And as I say, then they will then go on into attacking the Scipii and Greek city units there. If you notice, both the Macedon and Brutii troops have still got their generals, so they're still giving general morale bonus to their teammates. Here you can see the Macedon cavalry, they're charging into that Scipii cavalry, but now for once in this battle the Scipii general has cavalry dominance. If you notice, there's only a couple of Macedon cavalry units left, and I think the Scipii generals maybe have 4 cavalry units left. They might be battle damaged, but they still outnumber the enemy cavalry at this stage of the battle. Okay, so as I say, I think the enemy might have 3 cavalry units left to Scipii's maybe 4 there. Okay, you can see the Macedon general bringing his pikes forward there. Remember, Roman generals don't really like to take pikes head on, because obviously the Roman troops, as we saw earlier, has to fight down those long pikes to kill the man on the other end. Okay, so we don't really like fighting down pikes there. See that Macedon cavalry charging into those couple of Scipii units, going through to the Scipii general. Bang! See, make no mistake, that was a targeted hit there, trying to take out the Scipii general. Now remember, they've already lost the Greek city general, so if the Scipii general gets taken out, they will lose all their general morale bonus. So you can see that Scipii cavalry there, and bang, as it charges into that Brutii cavalry, and he brings an infantry unit in as well. So he's got a Scipii infantry and cavalry unit attacking that Brutii general. Obviously, Mad King and Trajan would like to take out that Brutii general there to lessen the general morale bonus that the enemy troops are getting. Okay, you can see the Macedon general there with his cavalry. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if he smashed into the rear of these engaged Brutii troops, but I notice there's a Greek city Spartan unit amongst that might just neutralise that attack. Okay, you can see that cavalry charging in there, and bang! But I think that Spartan unit just turned in time there, but I got a feeling that I think the Scipii general has just been taken out there. I think that was a Scipii general just been taken out. So if that's the case, then that's both Scipii and Greek city generals have been taken out. But I noticed that the Scipii cavalry and infantry are still trying to take out that Brutii general there. Bang, as that cavalry charges in there. I noticed that he just pulled that cavalry back there before he charged in, because there was a Macedon pike unit there. Okay, let's just pause again for a second. Okay, so the Brutii general has been now taken out, but they've still got the Macedon general for a morale bonus. The Macedon and Brutii team have. Okay. So the Scipii and the Greek city units, there is 1, 2 battle damaged Spartan units left. That's all that Trajan has left now. That just bears testament to how tough this battle was, to only have 2 of his Spartan units left. Okay. Okay, you can see that the Scipii general has just been routed as well. So as I say, neither the Greek cities or the Scipii generals are left alive now, so there's no morale bonus for those troops, but the other team still has a Macedon general left. Okay, just draw your attention here to the left flank. Can you see the last Scipii and Greek city unit on the left flank has now been broken? Okay, so that left flank has now been broken, and they will be looking to roll up the Scipii team from left to right this time. As I say, there's so much been going on in this battle. Can you see that Scipii cavalry bang charge into the flank of that engaged Macedon pike unit there? Wouldn't surprise me if that pike unit started to rout. You can see the Brutii infantry charging in there as well. Right, okay, so you can see here there's a lot of Macedon and Brutii units left, and remember they're up against blue Scipii and Greek cities here. Make no mistake, I think this battle is going to go right down to the wire here. But if you notice, the Scipii general still got those battle damaged cavalry units that he's making really good use of there. And it was strange, wasn't it? They had a cavalry disadvantage all the way through the battle, but towards the end now, at the end of the battle, they now have cavalry advantage. See that one cavalry unit charging. Wouldn't surprise me if it routed those. Yeah, routed both those battle damaged Macedon units. The Macedon general was charged into the flank of that Greek city unit, but I think that Greek city unit turned just in time there. So as I say, all the way through the battle, the Scipii and Greek cities generals had a cavalry disadvantage, but now towards the end of the battle, they have the cavalry advantage, and bang! As that cavalry charged into the rear of that Macedon unit there. And it looks like the Greek cities and Scipii team has managed to to win the battle. You notice there, Trajan's got 16 men in that unit. Madakin's got 5 men in that. 9. Say Trajan got 16. Got 17 men in there. 32. That's a lot. 34 and 19. So you can see by the casualties that they've suffered by those units. The first thing I want to show you is the size of this battlefield. Now, if you notice, can you see there's over here? You can see piles of dead. So you can see over there. Look, it's a massive, massive battlefield. This is bigger than some 4v4 battles that I've fought in. This is one massive battle here has gone on all over this battlefield with great tactics and strategy by both teams. But as you can see, it's a massive battlefield here that this 2v2 has been fought over. And as I say, it looks like the Scipii and Greek cities armies have, after a terrific battle, have actually gone on to win the battle here. Okay, you can see it just says victory there, but you can tell easily by the units that are left that this was a very close victory. Okay, very, very close there. I'd like to draw your attention to Macedon General Graben, who's had 1,675 kills. So really well done to Graben there. Nice kills there with Macedon. Really well done there. And if you can see, Trajan had the second highest kills, 1,652 with Greek cities. So really well done, you two. Some really great kills there. And I'd just like to say really well done to TAOW La Prince Koa and Graben there. Nice aggressive attacking by you two there. It's really nice to see how you grabbed the initiative and really attacked there. So really well done to you two guys. It was a pleasure to watch the tactics and strategy that you two did in that battle. Really well played, guys. That was a great battle to watch there. I think win or lose, it was a really great battle. So really well done to you two there. And really well done to Brotherhood member Mad King and Brotherhood member Trajan. Great how you guys stuck together, supporting each other all the way through the battle, and you weren't passive in your defence. You turned defence into attack in a split second, so really well done to you. So I thought this was a great 2v2 tournament battle. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please leave a comment if you like. Bye for now.